What's up, guys? Justin here with a pickups video, and I've got garage sale and thrift store stuff in this video. Normally I'd split them up into separate videos, but we really didn't find a whole lot at the garage sales last weekend. Definitely not enough to warrant its own video, and it was kind of disappointing because it was the last big bang of the garage sale season up here for sure. All the college kids came back into our town, and everyone decided to have their garage sales last weekend. We probably went to 10 or 12 sales on both Friday and Saturday, and just really didn't find a whole lot. Friday was pretty much a day of just insanely overpriced stuff. I guess I'll tell the story a little bit. Our main lead for the day was a sale that had advertised a Wii system and games, and there was another sale that had advertised Xbox games, another one, a few other sales that just said games. So we drove over to the Wii sale first, and it wasn't supposed to start until 9 o'clock. It was probably just after 8 when we got there, and they had some of their stuff set up, but there was no one outside or anything, so they clearly weren't open. So we drove over to the Xbox sale, and kind of the same story over there. They were just getting started setting up, so we didn't want to walk up there, so we just stopped at a few more sales in the area, and then made our way back over to the Wii sale, which still wasn't open. So we decided we were just going to camp out outside the sale until it opened. So we were out there for like 15-20 minutes until finally some lady came out of the house and opened up the garage door, and we walked up there. Right away when we were walking up there, I saw the box of Wii stuff. I thought it said $50 on it, so I was hoping it came with, you know, at least one good game, maybe two. I walked all the way up there and realized that it actually said $150. And it was just a white Wii system with a stack of like 5 games, I think. The best game in the stack was NHL 2K11. So if that says anything about the stack of games right there, I guess whoever priced it didn't realize that you can probably get a brand new Wii system at a retail store for probably just over what they were asking for their loose system and their stack of crappy games. So that was kind of a disappointment. Obviously walked away from that sale empty-handed. Made our way over to the Xbox sale. This time they were open, and luckily my cousin who I was with and another buddy I was with actually kind of knew the lady that was having the sale, so she kind of gave me a deal on this Xbox stuff. It's just a stack of original Xbox games, and I got some controllers and stuff down here as well. I believe all these are complete for the most part, so I'm not going to open all the cases and everything, but there's a few decent titles in here anyway. This one looked kind of cool. Blood Wake, looks like an Xbox exclusive game there. A Platinum Hits Splinter Cell, the first one. Platinum Hits Simpsons Road Rage. This one was kind of cool too. Mad Dash Racing. Quantum Redshift, another Xbox exclusive it looks like. Test Drive Off-Road Wide Open. Project Gotham Racing 2 Platinum Hits. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. And a Platinum Hits Ghost Recon. And we also got an extra manual for MX Unleashed. She didn't have the case or game for that one. And then an empty case for NHL Hits 2002 that didn't have the disc in it. Like I said, I got some controllers and stuff too. Here's a Power Pad controller. Looks like Intech or something. Interact, my bad. It's kind of like a neon green, cool looking controller. We got a original black controller here. And I believe we got 3 of these blue controllers here, official first party. This one actually has a memory card in it, it looks like. It's not every day you find a memory card for the original Xbox, just because you only really needed it to transfer files between systems as the other blue controller. A couple of these why call these like tripwires? I don't even know what you call these things really, but you guys know what I'm talking about. The cords for the system and the DVD remote with the sensor here. So I don't know if they weren't selling the system or what, but I got the cords for it. So all that I paid $10 for. Again, I kind of knew the lady, so I think she kind of gave me a little bit of a deal on that stuff. But $10 I thought was a pretty fair deal for that. So we throw some of the stuff out of the way here, and I'll move on to the only other sale that we found anything at all weekend. And we didn't find anything on Saturday. Again, 10 or 12 sales and just absolutely nothing. But one of the later sales we stopped at on Friday was a sale that we had been to before last year at least once, maybe twice last year even. But they had some games this time, a big assortment of games. They had PS2, Xbox, they had like one Wii game, a bunch of loose DS games, a bunch of Game Boy Advance games just loose and stuff. And I picked up, I think, 8 games here, really the only 8 that I felt were worth paying $1 for, which is what they were asking for them. And there was just 2 little kids running the sale. I guess they said their parents were out like hanging up signs for the sale or something, so I really couldn't bring myself to haggle with this little kid's prices, so I had to just go ahead and pay $1 each on all these. But for the Game Boy Advance, we got Bionicle and Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice Monsters. I've never seen this Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. I've seen pretty much any other Yu-Gi-Oh! Game on the Game Boy Advance, but never seen that one, so that's kind of cool. We got Chaotix Shadow Warriors for the DS. That one just looked kind of cool, and I just took a shot on these DS games. I had no idea like what they were worth, if they were good games or what, but for $1. Chibi Robo and The only reason I picked this one up is because it said Chibi Robo. I didn't realize till I got home that it's actually Chibi Robo Park Patrol. Had I seen that, I might have passed up on that one, but whatever, it was only $1. And then I got 4 PS2 games here. Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal, Maximo Ghost to Glory, yeah, Vex, and finally we got Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Again, $1 a piece on those. I think I got 8 of them there, so $8 there. And again, that was all we found at the garage sales for the entire weekend. And actually, I had one of the lead for the day. I had been talking to this guy the night before. I had emailed his Craigslist ad about his garage sale, asked if he had video game stuff. He told me he had PlayStation 1 stuff, PS2, maybe some Genesis stuff. Told me he had an Atari system and some games. And he told me that he had an Odyssey. And he sent me a text message with a picture of the Odyssey. I was expecting an Odyssey too. It was actually the original Odyssey from 1972, I believe, and I've never seen one of those. It's the one that had like the screen overlays and everything, because the system literally did not have graphics. It was just like 1 or 2 dots that you moved on the screen, and you had to put the overlays up on your TV, and they came in like 2 different sizes and stuff for different size TVs and stuff. So I ended up going over to his sale. He wasn't actually selling any of the stuff in the sale, and I was very disappointed when I got there. Turns out he couldn't find any of the PlayStation stuff. Couldn't find any of the Genesis stuff. The Atari system ended up just being a cheap 4-switch system with like 5, dirt cheap games. And the Odyssey, he brought up the Odyssey, and it was cool to look at and everything. It was cool to see the overlays, the controllers and stuff. I had never seen one before, but it didn't have like the power cord for it, so I would have had to find some C batteries or whatever that system uses. And when I asked him how much he wanted for it, he told me to make him an offer. And I literally had like $20 and some change in my wallet, and he told me that he had seen him selling just the console online for $300, and I knew that was a bunch of BS, because Ryan and I had looked the night before at Odyssey lots to get kind of like an idea of what we should pay for it if we bought it, and we saw like lots with games, complete systems, even in the box, going for no more than $100, I don't think. So I don't know what that guy was thinking. He told me to go home and research it, then make him an offer. I doubt I will be getting back to him on that, just because I'm not paying anywhere near $300 for an Odyssey. So that was another bust, obviously another insanely overpriced system. Now we went up to the Goodwill after the garage sales, and this is where honestly the main disappointment of the day came. We walked in there. The first thing I see in their glass case is 2 complete in box, like pretty mint condition Game Boy games, original Game Boy games. I think it was Space Invaders, and there was a Pac-Man game as well. And they were both marked for $10 each. Our Goodwill has never priced a Game Boy game at more than like $1.99. Even I've gotten complete in box ones there before for $1.99. So I don't know where the $10 price tag came from. I walked back to the electronics section. They have an original Xbox there, complete system, 1 controller and the cords, for $25. And they just had an Xbox system last week that I passed on, a complete system for $9.99. Because what am I going to do with another Xbox system, right? But $25. And then we walk over to where they put the games and stuff. Saw a stack of NES games there, like 4 or 5 of them, and a Super Nintendo game for $5 each. And again, our Goodwill has never charged more than, I don't think I paid more than $2.99 for any cartridge game I've ever bought from our Goodwill. And now suddenly they're all $4.99, and I picked out the 2 that I felt were worth it for $4.99. This one was an obvious no-brainer for $5. Super Mario Land 2, Yoshi's Island, which I think will be going to Ryan. He doesn't have this one. I just wanted to make sure it got shown in the video. And the other one I picked up for $4.99 was Super Mario Bros. 3, and even this one I was hesitant just because it's such a common game, but I just have a hard time passing up on it when I see it. But they had like Kung Fu, they had Mario Bros. Duck Hunt, I think they had Yoshi, that puzzle game. But again, for $5. I'm hoping that no one's going to buy those. I'm sure someone will, and as soon as they buy them, of course, the store's going to realize, oh, we can charge $5 for these, and people will still buy them. So I'm hoping that's not a continuing trend, but it's kind of disappointing to see, our Goodwill. We've been lucky with our Goodwill, I will be honest. Compared to some of these other Goodwills I see you guys go to, some of these other thrift stores, our Goodwill has been very good to us always, and I really hope that this is just like a phase or something. They got like, a new employee that pricing them, or I don't know what happened, but I'm hoping it's not a continuing trend. They did have a couple Game Boy games as well in their glass case, and now these Game Boy games were $2.99 each, so I don't know why the complete ones were $10. But this one was, again, a no-brainer for $2.99, Pokemon Silver. I did not test the battery. I don't know if it saves, but I can always replace it if it doesn't. And the other one we grabbed out of the case was, in a plastic case, Kirby's Block Ball, which I thought was pretty cool. Again, $2.99 on that one. They had, I think they had one more. It was Pong, I think, for the Game Boy Color for $2.99 that we passed up on. But again, I really hope that our Goodwill doesn't start overpricing games like some of these other Goodwills I see you guys go to, because that would be a huge disappointment. We only have the one Goodwill here, so if they start going down the drain, that could be the end of our Goodwill finds. But anyway, moving on to some other thrift store stuff. Actually, both these games come from the Goodwill as well on separate days, and luckily they haven't started like overpricing their disc-based games yet or anything. This is actually a PS3 game I picked up. Honestly, probably should have passed on this. They charged $3.99 for them. I didn't realize that GameStop sells this game for just a few dollars more than that, but I picked up Uncharted 2 Among Thieves for the PS3, and it's complete and in good shape, so if anyone wants to trade for this or anything, I'm open to offers. Obviously, I'm not looking to get much for it, but I really don't have a use for it, so if anyone wants to trade for that, hit me up. And then I went back to the next day and actually found this GameCube game there, one lone GameCube game, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. But the cool part about this one is it's kind of like a label variant, like an artwork variant. It's got this exclusive Target Bullseye Tour included down there, and it was actually still in here, and I was looking through it. It's actually really cool. They give you like a code, and they tell you how to get to like this secret contest on the menu that they're having, and you put in your code, and then I guess you try and get like a high score or something, or I guess a low score if it's golf, and then you send in your score to the website and stuff. And it was just really cool that this pamphlet and everything was still in here. It's got the prizes over here and stuff that you can win. So I might be switching this copy out with my personal copy, just because I think the the artwork variant is pretty cool on that one. So moving on to some St. Vincent de Paul finds. Actually, I think everything else for the rest of this video comes from the St. Vincent de Paul. These ones were actually I picked up kind of a while ago now, but I walked in there. They had one GameCube game sitting there, Call of Duty 2, big red one. I think they sell these for, this is either $1.44 or $2.44, but it's a GameCube game that I didn't have yet. I actually used to own this game, but the copy I had wasn't complete. The artwork was all water damaged and everything, so I got rid of that a while back, but glad to pick one up for the collection now. And then on that same day, they also had a DS car charger there for 50 cents. So I grabbed that too. So moving on to the big St. Vincent de Paul find. Now, I've mentioned it before in our videos. A couple times a year, our local St. Vinny's will have a bag sale. They'll just give you a paper bag. Anything you can fit in the bag is $4. And of course, it's nothing good. It's always just all the stuff that's been sitting on their shelf for 5 months since their last bag sale or whatever. Just the stuff nobody wants. So I never really take advantage of that sale. But after they do that, they obviously liquidate the majority of their inventory and they close down for 2 days and reopen with a whole new set of inventory. And I've gone in the past when they reopened. I've always had luck going there. I went there this time, got there 15-20 minutes before they opened, and I had posted that Facebook status about it. I was outside waiting with all the like the 70-year-old ladies that were there at 8:30 or whatever it was in the morning. So I walked in there and I scored pretty huge this time. I am very glad that I went. The first thing I did was run over to where they put the games. At first I just saw a stack of boxed sports games for the Genesis and really wasn't interested in any of those, but I looked down and I saw some cartridge stuff, some N64 stuff, actually one Super Nintendo game. Now all these games here, for the most part they were $1.45 a piece. I think the one Super Nintendo game was $2.45. I don't exactly know why, but we got Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64, actually another Star Fox 64, Extreme G2, GoldenEye 007, Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2, and the Super Nintendo game I got was Super Mario Kart. So obviously, I mean, you can't go wrong with a couple Mario Karts, a GoldenEye, and a couple Star Foxes, all for $1.45 a piece. So that already made the trip worth it and waking up worth it. But I ran back to the electronics section and scored even bigger. I'll bring up this box here. We got a bunch of controllers. They had a bunch of N64 controllers. I think they had 6 or 7 of them there. I think I ended up picking up 5 of them. One of them was a third-party controller, and another one was pretty beat up. The joystick was pretty loose. But I grabbed most of the other ones they had. These are all $3.34 a piece, which for a good N64 controller, I have no problem paying that. So we got an atomic purple one here. Again, all these joysticks are, I mean, they're lightly used. You can tell they were used, but they all should work perfectly fine. So atomic purple, and we got 3 original gray controllers here. 1, 2, and 3. And then this one here which is pretty cool, the smoke gray controller. And this one's actually in probably the best shape out of all of them. The joystick is like new, so I was very happy to get that one. I don't think I have this controller yet. And they also had some NES controllers there, labeled 1 and 2 accordingly. These were $2.34 a piece. They also had this, which was $1.50, which is more than they normally charge for just like a cord, but it's got this piece on the end of it and stuff, but it's just a coaxial with the converter to the AV slot, or whatever you want to consider that, the regulator modulator, whatever it's called. And then this, which I thought was really random, an Atari 5200 power adapter, I believe is what this is. It has to be. I don't know of any other Atari power adapter that was this huge, but this was only 75 cents, and I mean, this is a pretty hard to find piece if you're looking for one, so I definitely snagged that up, even though I don't really have any of my Atari stuff anymore. Can't hurt to have an extra one of these. And then I walked over to where they put like the books and stuff, and I found a couple strategy guides actually. We got Final Fantasy IX, which was very cool. Ryan and I were actually just talking about this game the day before. He had started playing it and told me it was actually pretty good. I think he likes this one more than 7, just because I think in 9 they kind of tried to go back to more like the Super Nintendo feel back when the Final Fantasies were, you know, on the Super Nintendo. So that was 86 cents, obviously. No problem paying that. And then I picked this up for Ryan. I know he's kind of into StarCraft. It's just a Brady Games guide for StarCraft, or it looks like StarCraft 2. I don't know much about it, but again, I think that was 86 cents too, so I'll grab that for him. And then on the way to the register to pay for everything, I was kind of just doing one last skim through the electronics section, and down away from where I found all the controllers and stuff, I saw this for $1.54. Now it is as is. I have not tested it yet. I'm assuming they didn't have, you know, the cords to test it or a game to test it with, but it's a Model 2 Sega CD. Again, $1.54 for that, which is insanely like underpriced for a system at this particular thrift store. But again, they probably just didn't have the cords or a game to test it, so they threw it up there as is. Crossing my fingers on that one that it works. And so I believe that was all I got on that day. Again, definitely worth waking up a little bit earlier and going out to that. I think the total for everything was like 45 bucks, which was, you know, an absolute steal, especially with the Mario Karts, the Star Foxes, the GoldenEye, and the Sega CD. So, moving on to some other Vinny's finds, I actually went a few days late. I gave it a few day break. I didn't want to go back the next day just because I figured, you know, they wouldn't have put anything new out. But I went back a few days later and came across some more NES controllers. Now these ones were marked down. These were only $1.84 a piece. Well, I don't remember what I said for those other ones. Those other ones were at least $2 though. So I'm not going to pass up an NES controller for under $2 anytime I see it. They also had this for 95 cents. AV cord for a, you know, Super Nintendo, GameCube, N64, whatever you want to use it for. I'm in desperate need of these though. I'm always running out of these things. If anyone has like a plethora of these cords, you know, like the official Nintendo ones, and are willing to trade or sell them or whatever, definitely hit me up and we will work something out, because I'm in desperate need of as many of these as I can get right now. And then I also found a, let's see, Model 2 Sega, it looks like a Genesis AC adapter. That was it's got 2 price stickers on it, one for 75 cents and one for 45 cents. So whichever one the cashier saw first is probably what I got charged for it. But either way, I would have paid either of those for it. So that was all I got on that day. And I actually went back there today, actually, just a little while before filming this video, and found a couple more things. This will be the last things I have for the show in this video. But I found the RF cord for the Model 2 Genesis. Now, they never had the Genesis for this Sega CD, but I'm assuming this probably came in with the system, and then they had this there the day before, so maybe I'll find some controllers or maybe some Sega CD games there tomorrow if I go, I don't know. And then, so that was 50 cents, and I never come across these. These are the reason that I still have a box of Genesis systems sitting in my room right now, just because these are so hard to find, these like exclusive RF cords for the Model 2 Genesis. I've got tons of power adapters, but none of these things. And then, right before I got to the register, I checked one more time over where the games are, and was surprised to see that when I first looked, I actually missed this. All Real Monsters for the Super Nintendo. The only cartridge game they had over there, $1.45 on that, and I don't think this is a very good game. I used to love this show, though, back when it was on TV. I used to watch it all the time. I have played this game, though, and I actually didn't think too highly of it. Not the greatest game in the world. I think it was kind of like Earthworm Jim, but just a really bad version of it, if I remember correctly. But anyway, I believe that was all I had to show for the video. So obviously thrift stores are kicking ass lately. Garage sales not so much, but hopefully next weekend at the garage sales is a little bit better. I'm assuming there's not going to be nearly as many sales, but as we just saw, more sales doesn't always constitute more games. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for sticking around and checking out the video, and until next time, take care.